Good evening, Dobe Academy gang. I hope you're all enjoying your evening. And here is the first of my little videos, which I hope is going to help you dispel some of the myths we all come across when talking about our dog's behaviour and we are training him. So I want to have a look at the actual truth behind some of these myths. For example, terms I hear bandied around a lot are, he's trying to be alpha, he's trying to be dominant, he's guilty, he knows what he's done, he's going out through the door in front of you because he's trying to be master and you need to be more assertive, so on and so forth. So let's have a little look around some of these theories that are bandied around and have a look at where they came from and whether or not they're true. All the fascinating dog myths out there have literally been passed down by generations of dog owners and professionals alike over many, many, many years. And of course, since domesticated dogs have been around for literally centuries, it's hardly surprising that some of these old myths have been hanging around for a long time and are seriously outdated. Now we know more about dog behaviour though and the science behind it, it's important for us to dispel the myths and learn how to understand our dogs and learn how to train them properly. And I hope that you're going to understand a little bit more around how our dogs are not at all like wolves. And also that the wolf pack theory is completely nonsense as well these days. It's now been proven to be nonsense too. So let's start first with how the term alpha came about in the world of dog training. So alpha originated a long time ago when Rudolf Schenkel, who was an animal behaviourist, studied wild wolves who were placed in zoo captivity. Now, zoos have obviously come a long way since the 1930s, but back then, the wolves that they studied existed in a very unnatural, restricted habitat. It's important to know that. So the wolves themselves could not behave as they would normally when they were forced into living in this setting. And of course, the pack of wolves fought quite ferociously. So Schenkel and his team therefore concluded that the pack of wolves who were fighting over leadership. So they were challenging each other for the alpha role. And the most successful fighter, of course, became the alpha. This study was a bit problematic because first and foremost, of course, it couldn't be representative of true wild wolf behaviour because they were in captivity. They were in a small space and they weren't living in their natural habitat. So their behaviour was completely different as to how it is in the wild. And the second problem, of course, is that captive wolves are not the same as domesticated dogs. Not by a long shot. So there were two major problems with that. But what we need to look at quite closely is, do wild wolves act with aggression within their packs towards each other? And the answer to that question is absolutely not. No, they don't. Wolf behavioural experts these days have actually found just the opposite to be true. So there's another scientist, actually, David Meach, who helped to actually popularise the term alpha in the first place. And he's now actually been on a huge mission to reverse that now outdated and misleading information. So let's have a little look at perhaps where the term alpha might come up. And I see it quite a lot if, for example, your dog pulls hard on the lead. Say he's pulling you through that door, through the exit. And I often hear people saying he's trying to be master or he's trying to be alpha if he's exiting the door before you. He's pulling you out and he's gone first. And of course, this is simply not true. What we actually need to do is look at why this behaviour might be happening with our dogs. You know, why is he exiting the door before you? What does he achieve from it? And the simple answer to that is, usually with our pet dogs, they're majorly excited when they're going for a walk. And of course they want to, once the lead is picked up, you know they're going for a walk, they get majorly excited, their arousal levels go up, they might bounce around, especially if you're saying walkies, walkies, let's go for a walkies, and they know what that means, of course. And you manage to get the lead on in the struggle, and your dog heads for the door, and of course he pulls you through it. So the reason he's actually going out of the door ahead of you is because he's majorly excited, in quite a lot of arousal, and he wants to get to the park. He's not trying to be alpha. That's what's going on. And of course, a big of course, we haven't taught him what we want to do instead, which is why he's behaving the way he is. And that's, that's a big statement at the end underneath there. We haven't taught him not to go through the door in front of us. So first and foremost, he's just going out of that door in front of you because he's excited, or there's something out there that he wants. And majorly, we haven't taught him what we want instead. So the myth of him being alpha is simply not true. All right, guys, so I hope that's kind of helped you understand a little bit about what we're going to be talking about this week. And it's also going to start persuading you that your dog is not trying to take over the world. So I'll see you tomorrow for another little clip on debunking myths. See you then.